Let's talk about exosomes, because while they're the latest skincare buzzword, most of what's out there is total junk. The truth, a lot of these products are just freeze-dried fragments, untested and completely useless. Today, we're breaking down what real exosomes are, what the latest NS300 testing shows, and how to tell the difference between hype and science. If you're investing in your skin, you deserve the truth. Let's get into it.
Well, hello there.
Hello.
Today we're going to do a deep dive into a huge new buzzword that's out there, and obviously the skincare industry is always evolving, and Platinum Skincare, we are always trying to keep up and staying on the cutting edge.
Yes.
One of our new lines, the Alchemy line, has an exosome.
Yes.
And today we are going to talk all about the exosomes.
Yeah.
And
learn what makes it so good.
Platinums so amazing.
Let's think about it. You know, whenever there's something new like this, and an exosome isn't new. Let's
Sure.
not say that. I mean, they've been, working with these for decades, probably
Yes.
medical use and things like that.
Sure.
But, new to us in the skincare arena.
That's right.
And we're like right there at the forefront. I don't think there are a
Yes.
lot of people that have exosomes in products. I mean, in my
Sure.
research, I've seen a handful of worthy-ish
Sure.
products.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we have a lot to unpack about them.
Absolutely.
What makes them so good.
Yeah, and you've been working on this for a long time, even before our launch.
Yes, probably been like a year or something that I've been
100%.
looking into
yeah,
them.
so you are definitely, you're before the times here on this, as far as skincare goes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for what everybody else has of these out there.
Well,
we're
so exciting.
hopefully some
Well,
of the
let's
best.
talk about what they're not telling you about exosomes. Like, can you tell me exactly what makes ours different?
Yeah. So when you're looking at this bottle here, there is one thing and one thing only in this bottle, one active ingredient, and it is human adipose exosome.
Okay.
And there is one other ingredient, and it's actually a super, super, super important ingredient, and it's called mannitol. And what mannitol is used for is it's like a cryoprotectant, because you can't just take an exosome and leave it out all day long. It needs to be cold. So it has to be frozen initially. So we've got a longer time span that we can use this product. Because if you think about it, if we just had this straight from the source, let's say they made this product and didn't freeze dry it, I mean, you've got such a short time to use this, it's not even applicable.
Right.
And there are a handful of things out there, I believe nowadays, where maybe you have something and it's fresh. You've got 6 to 8 weeks or something that you have to use that product. I mean, you think about the logistics of that. You're manufacturing that, and then you're going to send it to somebody to resell it to the customers.
Right.
What time frame do you have? Let's say you got 120 days. What time frame do you have from when you've manufactured it to get it to the person that's going to sell it, to get it to the final user, and then they've got to use it like immediately.
True.
So freezing is what's important. You need to be able to freeze it. So now this is in its frozen state. We keep this cold. We keep them in the deep freeze here.
Yes.
Deep freeze. This is now good for 2 years.
Right.
Frozen. We don't have to worry about rushing and trying to use it up really quick because it's going to go bad. This is now good for a very long time. And the difference between ours is that mannitol, right? So if you find like any other product out there, and I'm sure there's probably another one. I think I might have seen one other one. If they're not using like a cryoprotectant like we are when it's being processed and turned into this powder, the exosome itself is getting damaged, right? It can break apart. I mean, think about if you've filled a balloon with water and you freeze it.
Okay.
It can create shards. It can rip
Sure.
and tear things.
Yeah.
You're going to destroy that
Perfectly round.
exosome.
Right, okay.
Yeah, so you don't want that. So you have to put a cryoprotectant in there. So like I said, we've got this covered.
Right.
So when ours is tested, and we do have them tested, right?
Yeah.
There's this Nanosite NS300 is the machine that they use. It's a really intense microscope that can look at teeny tiny little nanoparticles.
Got it.
And it can see like the concentration, it can see their size, their shape, if it's whole, if it's damaged,
Got it.
So ours are tested with this, right? So they go through, and we have a lot of photos on the page here showing you like what's been tested, and it shows, all the markers that it's gone through, and what it looked like before it was tested, before all the liquid was removed, and what it looks like after, and what the concentration is. So we're showing you that this is pure, it is potent, there's nothing wrong with it, it's not damaged, it's like ready to be used. And you don't have to worry about, particles or little pieces, like what do they call that?
Jagged edges, no jagged pieces.
Like washing the exosomes, like that's where they're talking about where they just have the little broken particles and things, and they're saying, oh, we have some in there, but they really don't. It's not a functioning, a broken piece of something. It's kind of like saying, a broken piece of this plate is just as effective as this full plate. Well, it's not, clearly. You can't use this broken piece. It's not giving you any benefits. It's not helping you to eat your meal, right?
Sure,
You need the whole thing. So things like that, where some other companies are being a little bit misleading about what their product is.
Sure.
And they're not going to make that well known.
Right.
Hey, we're doing this.
Right.
But, that's where we want to differ. We want to show you our results for our testing. We want to tell you
It's amazing.
what's in here. There's only 2 ingredients in here.
Right.
It's the exosomes and the cryoprotectant, of which there has to be. So if you're seeing it somewhere else and the cryoprotectant's not in there, it's not going to be an effective product. It's super, super important.
That's amazing.
I mean, I just had to spew all of that because, that's
it's really intriguing.
The major important thing here is making sure that this product that you have that is a little bit of an investment.
Sure.
That you want to make sure that it's good.
Yeah.
And that it's functioning properly.
Yeah, that would be really disappointing if you invested and you're taking the time and you're doing all of the things, and then you find out that the product is
Might
not
as well just be water.
as superior as you thought it was. But
Right.
super good news that our exosomes do stand through the test of the testing and all of those great things. So that's amazing.
Yeah, and I know that there's a new study coming out where they are testing some products. Now, they didn't test our product. I don't think our product was even available in the market when they were doing these tests. I think it's a Harvard study or something. But I'm interested to see the results of that because I would like to see, if these companies used a cryoprotectant. And if they didn't, I think they're going to find some pretty negative findings with the products tested. But knowing that ours was processed properly.
Absolutely.
And the team that makes this for us, we're not making this, right? Someone's making this for us. The team that makes this has been in this vicinity doing exosomes and things for I think it's 15 years. Correct. They know what they're doing. They have their own patented methods of doing this. I think they have 10 or 15 patents.
Wow.
On doing this properly.
So when you say they've been doing this for 15 years, they were probably doing this for the medical industry.
Probably.
Yeah.
I would say so. Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting.
Because, it hasn't been readily available to everyone else now. This is very new. Very, very new.
And let's touch base just for 1 minute about, we ship these to our customers.
Yeah.
And, we put a nice big stamp on their order, letting them know that, this is okay to be at air temperature for 10 days while it's in transit.
Correct. We have a 10-day window.
That does not compromise anything.
No, and there's actually on the website, there is a study that was done, and it goes from, 45 degrees to this degree, to this degree, to this degree, to this degree to test for, toxicity and damage and all that kind of stuff. And that wasn't affecting it. So, if it's cold here and then it's going to warm up a little bit as it gets to you, it's okay. As soon as you get it, just put it in your refrigerator.
Right.
We try to always add on, number one, we're giving you more express methods. We want to get it to you within 3 to 5 days, I think. Sooner is better, always. Sure. But, we're putting an ice pack in there. We're putting it in a cold pack style, the silver cold pack style with the ice pack in the box, sealing that up to keep that. That's going to give you an extra day transit, in case something crazy happens.
Because it is deep, it's in a deep freezer here.
It is. It's negative.
Yeah, you only have to put it in your refrigerator. You could put it in your freezer.
Refrigerator is good. And we have the little beauty fridges. Those work fine.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And even if you make something from it, in its, of course, in its little frozen, dried state here, we want it to be cold. And you could throw it in your freezer too. I'm not saying it doesn't have to be. But once you've mixed a liquid into there, whether you're mixing one of our serums or the PDRN or the EHR, or you're using saline or distilled water, whatever you've chosen to mix this with, once you've created a product with that, you want to refrigerate that too.
Okay.
That's important.
Now let's talk about why, and these are so trending right now. What does this exosome do to your skin that is above and beyond what a regular skincare serum or something could provide?
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously we have a lot of, peptides and things, and they can kind of speak to your cells and tell them what to do. But when you have something that is from the human body, and I know that kind of scares a little bit of people, and they're like, I don't want somebody's fat on me. There's nobody's fat is in here. This is not fat in here. This is an exosome. This is a messenger.
Right.
This is a messenger for your cells. It's not somebody's fat. It's not anything like that. But think of this exosome that they've taken out of those cells as like a sergeant in an army, right? The sergeant tells those cells what to do.
Sure.
And its key factors is to tell your cells to heal. It's to tell your cells to, stimulate collagen. It's really good for skin texture.
Nice.
And anti-aging, super anti-aging. So something like this is amazing to, obviously you really want to needle with it, right? You want to use the micro infusion with this, get that really deep into your skin, and then let it talk to your cells.
Right.
And the reason there's so many in here, like there's 11 billion in this bottle.
Okay.
So the reason there's so many is, one of them is busy telling this guy what to do, and one of them's busy telling this guy what to do, and one of them's busy telling this guy what to do.
Yeah.
They kind of like talk one-on-one with your cells. So the more higher count that you're able to put on your skin and get into your skin, the more activity you're going to, take care of at once. And once he tells this guy what to do and he starts on his journey, well, he can move on to the next one and tell him what to do. But, 11 billion, that's a lot. That's a lot of sergeants telling your cells what to do. So, the big thing is obviously anti-aging and collagen and healing. So, even using this after a chemical peel.
Right.
Or a lot of times you'll find it in medical spas and things like that. They like to use it after something maybe like a CO2 laser, something that's, really damaging to the skin. Somebody's going to be irritated and uncomfortable. Their skin's not happy. Putting something like that on with its healing properties.
Right.
So really, really good option.
That's amazing because, we all know anytime you do a peel or, the CO2 lasers, you're literally damaging that top layer of skin on purpose.
Burning it intensely.
And we're doing that, to stimulate that collagen. And this is just like an added bonus.
Yeah.
That now it's not only stimulating collagen, but it's literally in there bossing these cells around, telling them, you do this, you do this.
Get busy.
Right. So it's like, it's an action-packed sort of scenario where you're getting, like best of both worlds there.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Super
like
important.
I said, I can't be more excited about this. But I think it's just so amazing. I love the PDRN as well. And I like those together. I like to pour the PDRN into the exosomes and use that serum together.
Yeah.
But because they both work so well for
we have
the human
many
skin.
clients that purchased all three.
Yeah.
And we do have the buy more, save more discount on this
That's
particular
important.
line.
Yeah.
It is. And they, they'll phone and they'll say, which one is the best for this? And as we're talking about each one, a lot of times they decide they want all three, you know, and they're doing a little bit of the EHR and a little, with the whole vial of the EXOAD, and then they're dropping in a little bit of PDRN. So now if they have leftovers when they are needling, what do they do with the serum that is remaining?
So here's some rules. So whatever we've poured, so let's say, let me just take one of these out. Let's take a tool out. All right, let's just take the needle head and the tool. I'll just show you the tool. Let's just make this simple. Here's the tool. It's all in here. I don't want.
Yes.
Okay, here's the tool and here's your needle head. This is obviously disposable every time you do treatment. In your tool, I like to tell people to fill this up about halfway. There's no need to really fill it up all the way. I don't think you're going to use all that. But it really depends on how many times you plan on going over your face. If you go over one time, you're not going to need to fill that up all the way. If you're going over, 3 times or 4 times, however aggressive you want to be, then you might use more. I suggest half. Now let's say you filled it up all the way, and you needled your face, and you still have half left.
Okay.
What is in this tool is good for, I would say, to use it within the next 72 hours. Because, you know,
Okay.
you're done needling, you
Yeah.
want to put a little bit more on, let that penetrate while you've got those holes open in your skin, right? All those microchannels.
After you're finished, put
Yeah.
a nice layer of it.
Yeah, about 15
Okay.
minutes approximately before those holes close back up again. So, yeah, when you're done needling, if your face isn't wet with solution, you want to add some
Yeah.
more. Let
Super
get
receptive
it in
time.
there, right? And then, you know, later on in the day, maybe, you know, before you go to bed, now you're going to wash your face. Go ahead, put a little bit more on.
Yeah.
Put a little bit more in the morning. Mix it into your serums. Go ahead and use up what's in this tool
Okay.
within 72 hours.
Keep
Now,
it in the
let's-
refrigerator in between.
keep it in the refrigerator. But let's say you just, you know, mixed some up and you mix it with there and you put your little dropper tip on here and none of this has been in the tool. Okay, so this product that you just mixed up, this is good for 6 months.
Okay.
If you want to just use a little bit of this every day, it
daily.
hasn't, not that this has even touched your skin, but just the sheer fact that it was in the tool, we
Sure.
want to use it within 72 hours.
Okay.
If we just mixed it up in this vial, it's good for 6 months.
Okay.
And if it's just, like I said, sitting in this, cold or frozen, this is good for 2 years.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's not like you're wasting anything.
Sure.
You can always use what's in the tool. You can mix up more. So if you mixed up this bottle and you decided to pour it in a half tool, I'll use that part within 3 days, and what's left over here, you can seal that up and use it, 6 months from now if you want to, or next month when you do your needling, or
Got
2
it.
weeks. It's good.
We have many clients that are not doing the needling, but they are purchasing the PDRN and the AD
Yeah.
and using that just as like a daily
For
serum to
healing.
help with, barrier repair and
Barrier repair, rosacea.
post peel.
Post peel, yes.
yeah.
Anything like that. Even on a daily basis. I do want to say, like, it's fine. I use it every day too.
Yeah.
But it is best
Yes.
to needle with it. I mean, you have to keep in mind like molecular size and what's going to penetrate into your skin. And some of these are a little bit larger, so the very best use of these is to needle it.
Yeah.
And I do want to mention too, you don't have to purchase our needling system,
Right.
our microinfusion system. If you have, a
Needling pen or something.
Yeah, Dr. Pen. There's a bunch of
Yeah,
brands out
yeah.
there. Some people like to use
Sure.
the rollers. There's our serums can be used with any tool that you have. We're not trying to. That's why they're separate. That
Sure.
the whole point of creating these serums and making them separate is because you can use them with your tool that you already own. And if
Right.
you don't own a tool, then by all means, please try ours.
Sure.
But yeah, use it with anything.
Yeah, excellent. And I spoke to so many customers that, maybe already had a derma roller.
Oh, yeah.
Possibly already had a pen. And, they would say, hey, can I use? Absolutely. Yeah,
Absolutely.
go for it.
Absolutely. These were created to be injected into the skin.
Yeah.
So take that as you will. If you're
Sure.
injecting it into the skin with all the little baby needles, that's exactly what these were meant for.
Now, is there any way that, we can diagnose something like the everyday person doesn't have a microscope, like this amazing NS 3000 or 300? Is it 300?
Yes,
Okay.
NS 300.
NS 300. So, the everyday person, we don't have microscopes. So,
Right.
how would we know?
How are you gonna know?
How are we going to know?
Right now, you've got to rely on your manufacturer or your
Yeah.
brand that's selling the product. So,
Got it.
when you go to our website, it is just so important to me personally to give you all of the information I possibly humanly can,
Yes.
whether it's on the ingredients, what
Right.
this ingredient is known to do,
Yes.
does, what the function is, or how it was created, where it came from, who makes
Yeah.
it. I'm going to tell you whatever I
Sure.
can possibly tell you. So the same thing with this. So when you go to our page, you're going to see exactly how this was processed. Here's the photos of
Right.
what the NS300 spit out.
Right.
Okay, it's showing this is before it was cryogenically frozen. This is after it was cryogenically frozen, before and after. All right, it's perfect. There's not a problem
Right.
with this. And that's important. I think a lot of places you go, they're not going to show you that.
Right.
And if they're not going to show you that, and if you reach out to them and they're not willing to tell you about it or how it's tested or something about it,
Yeah.
I would probably go the other way.
Because that would be a red flag.
That's a red flag.
That's
If
a
they
red
can't
flag,
tell
that
you.
if they can't tell you that this is the gold standard of the testing for this particular
I mean, that is
style
used for
product.
exosomes and drugs, like the different things, like when they're, manufacturing drugs to go into the body, how
Sure,
far they
like the raw
penetrate.
ingredients, yeah.
Make sure that everything is whole and proper before, it's being used in the real world. Well, same thing here, like exosomes. That's a main function of this particular microscope, to prove
Got it.
the concentrations and sizes and if it's whole or broken apart and all those kinds of things. I think there's a handful of other tools that can do that. I
Yeah.
don't know their names offhand. This just happens to be the most popular
Sure.
one. But there are a couple of other tools, so someone could say, oh, well, we use this tool to do that. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
That could be
Yeah.
just fine as well.
Are there any other red flags that we can look for in packaging or marketing that could also, let us know that maybe that product is not as superior as one that was tested appropriately?
What are you
Anything that-
thinking?
I
I'm
don't
thinking
know.
you had something in mind
No,
saying
but
that.
okay, just to compare it, to something else, we sell like a chemical peel. Okay, like
Yeah.
our peels are certified, and
Yeah.
the free acid value is what we are telling you is in there.
Free acid value, the pH level, and
Right.
the percentage.
So,
Yeah.
those are key things, pH levels, like things like that we look for as consumers when we're purchasing chemical peels.
Right.
So, obviously, looking to see if they're tested appropriately, looking for the buzzwords for the ingredients. Like, is there some tricky ways that they can say it's like a blend or something similar to
Well, there was that
some
washing.
manufacturers do with peels and such?
Yeah. Like we say, like when we talk about like a compound of something. A compound, there's nothing wrong with a compound.
Yeah.
But if you're
Yeah.
basing your percentage off a compound,
Right.
it's a percentage of that compound. It's not a percentage of the singular
the
ingredient in
active
there, like
ingredient.
retinoids. That's where
Correct.
that gets really messed up out
Yeah.
there. I think a lot of people aren't even showing you a percentage or a part per billion or anything like that.
Sure.
There's a lot of things I've seen out there looking around, and nowhere in all of my digging on their page, on their website, can I find even a reference or hint
Okay.
as to how much of that whatever exosome you're using is in that product. Well, that's a red flag to me.
Right,
If you're
yes.
not telling me, okay, you may not have 11 billion parts in there. I don't care if you
Yeah.
have 1,000,000. I think you should be telling me, so
Right.
I can at least compare apples to apples or apples to grapefruits.
Absolutely.
Okay, this one has 11 billion and is this price, and this one has 1 million and is this price.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to go with this one.
Right.
It just takes a little bit of adding up and going, well, I can just add this into my own product, and I
Right.
can make my own product from this. This is far more powerful.
I feel like with such a scientific product, I feel like the scientific, nature of it demands to know exactly these criteria.
Yeah, it's not just, oh, this is a lovely cream that's going to
Yeah.
moisturize and hydrate your skin. No, I mean, we're claiming that it's a specific
Yeah.
active.
Yeah.
So you need to know what this active is, just
Got
kind
it.
of like our potion line. There's a percentage of that active in there, and we're going to tell you what it is. That's exactly the same with this.
Okay, when someone starts a series of the
Yeah,
needling,
let's say microinfusion, yeah.
microinfusion, correct. How long before they're going to see results? Everybody wants. We're an instant world here.
Yeah.
Instant gratification is what we thrive on.
Yeah.
However, we know things take time.
However, beauty is not that.
That's right.
It's not that. So, and I do see people that will needle, and the next day they're like, oh my gosh, my skin is so beautiful. It's like, okay, it is.
Yeah.
It is, and that's generally because there's a little bit of localized swelling.
inflammation.
When we've put thousands of needle holes in your face,
Sure.
and it's inflamed a little bit.
Yeah, yeah.
And so, your pores are going to look more refined, or
Sure.
wrinkles might look a little bit less. But now, give that another week or so when your skin's calmed down and looks
Yes.
normal again. You're like, well, it doesn't look as good as it did. Well,
Yeah.
that's because nothing's happened yet.
Right.
That I always, with anything, and I don't care if it's just using a topical product
Yeah.
or something like a series of peels, a series of micro infusions, you have to give it 90 days.
Yeah.
Once that collagen and elastin starts building in your skin, you can't see it. I
Yes.
don't care if you did the strongest TCA peel. You're going to see a surface refining, but you are not going to see the actual real changes for at least 90 days.
Right.
Where all of these new tissues that are way down below the skin are now working their way up and
Yes.
growing and working their way up and growing and then but by the time
Sure.
in the meantime, now you've done 2 more, 3 more, who knows how many more. Now it's just going to start compounding, right?
Okay.
So I'm always, no matter what it is, I'm like 90 days.
Right.
I don't care if you're starting to use a topical retinoid
Right.
or if you're starting a series of microinfusion. But you've got to give it time. And you can do this fairly often. It really depends. I see some recommending, 2 weeks, and you can do it every 2 weeks if you
You're
want.
doing like one light.
Yeah, if you're not super
one light- if
aggressive.
You're going over just one time, right?
Yeah, if you're not super aggressive, or if your skin's not sensitive, because there are some
Sure.
people whose skin is like steel. They could probably go over this several times and are fine.
Right.
So you've got to learn your own
Sure.
skin's tolerance, but you can do this as often as 2 weeks apart. Never more than that.
Okay.
And I want to say the reason why is because when you do this the first day 1, that's when you have like peak collagen
Oh,
formation, right? And then it peaks again on like day 14 or 15. I can't remember which it is. So the last thing you want to do is interrupt that when you know it's going to be like doing another last ditch boost of collagen production. You don't want to sit there and beat it down again real quick. Let it do its thing. And then when
Yes.
your 2 weeks are done, okay, now you can start again. So you had that nice boost. Now you're going to get another boost. Just don't ever push it more than 2 weeks. Like I know people get excited. They want to do it every week. And my skin feels fine. I know
Yeah.
your skin feels fine. It looks fine, but it's not fine. Things are still happening
Sure.
down there, and you don't
Right.
want to ever move forward before your skin is ready. That's when you end up with negative things moving
Yeah,
forward.
you
People
don't
that are
rush
too
it.
aggressive
Yeah.
end up with negative.
And obviously, we want you to do a series of these, just like if you were
Absolutely.
doing a series of peels.
Yes.
You're going to get the best results when you're consistent.
Yes. So, and people keep asking me this question. It's like, well, should I do needling and then a peel
Yeah,
and then
I've
needling?
had that.
I'm like, well, you can, right? Whatever works for you. If you're
Any
doing,
benefit to that, you think? Any benefit to alternating the two?
I've always think it's good to like keep your skin guessing.
Yeah.
To be honest,
Right.
if you're doing the same thing all the time, your skin might get a little used to it.
Yeah.
Not that that's going to stop things, but
Sure.
I think when you throw something else in that makes sense, like, whoa, what was that? It's like back to attention again.
Right.
And so there's nothing wrong with doing needling this time and a peel this time, or needling,
Yeah.
a peel, needling, a peel. Come up with whatever
Yeah.
groove you like.
Yes.
And then do that. Just always make sure, as with anything,
Yes.
you are following the recommendations of the thing that you did last, right? So if you did this needling and you know you're going to do another one in 2 weeks,
Yeah.
you decide, well, I'm not going to do needling this week. I'm going to do a TCA peel.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you do your TCA peel, and now you get a 30-day wait time.
Yeah.
So that doesn't mean in 2 weeks you can do another one of those. You have to wait your 30 days.
Right.
And now you can do your needling.
Right.
So you could do needling, peel. Needling, peel. Whatever works for you.
Whatever works. One exciting thing about this line that is great for expecting moms and moms that are nursing is there are no limitations on this like there are on chemical peels.
No, that's very true. Like you kind of have to stay away from salicylic. You
Yeah.
have to stay away from
There's a lot
Jesner. You
of
have to stay away
rules.
from TCA. You've got a handful you can use with this. Very true. So we do get a lot of pregnant moms
yes.
and things like that. Maybe they can't use their retinoids because they're pregnant. They can't do this. Well, you don't have to prep so much
No,
to do this.
no.
I mean, it's great if you're on a good regimen. Of course,
Absolutely.
we want you on a good regimen, your skin turning over
Sure.
and healing.
Yeah.
But anybody could do this at any time.
And that's amazing because
That's awesome.
they're so limited, and a lot of times they're using the stronger acids and retinoids and things like that, and they're they're pretty worried because your hormones start going through a lot going on, and sometimes your skin is beautiful when you're expecting, and sometimes it's not.
Yes.
So you never know what you're going to get. So this is great
Yes.
news.
Yeah, that was a really good thought.
Yeah. I took quite a few calls over the last month about that, and I was always excited when they ask me, and I can give
can
them
I
some
do?
good news.
You can do this.
You can do this, and they get so excited.
Yeah, something major.
Yes.
Because this is major. It's
It
a
is.
major treatment. Like,
Yeah.
I can't do my peels. Same thing with
Yeah.
summertime. Okay, so right now here it's summertime. time. It was 90 degrees the
Oh,
other
gosh,
day.
yeah.
A lot of times people don't want to be sweating
No.
and doing peels. You don't want to cause
Yeah.
that skin to come up too quickly. You can do this.
Right, and your downtime is going to be a lot
lot
less,
less.
with something like this. A lot of times there is no downtime at all.
No, I don't generally have any downtime
Yeah.
when I do this. I know that potentially you could be a little bit dry.
Yeah.
Potentially you could get a little bit of flaky skin. I don't generally.
Yeah, I'm more sensitive, and I did not have any downtime.
Nothing,
I
yeah.
do recommend the lidocaine before.
I am a believer of lidocaine before strong peels,
Yes.
before this. And
why not?
just like, okay, a little hint. We have that big, it's like a 4-ounce tube or a
big.
6-ounce tube. I
Maybe
can't remember what it
6.
is.
I think it's 6.
Yeah, and obviously there's not instructions on there for use because lidocaine at
Yeah.
that percentage is only approved for hemorrhoid use.
Right.
But it can be used for anything.
Sure.
And that lidocaine numbs very well. I
yeah.
suggest, as a couple little tips, put it on very thick. Like, don't think that you're going to rub it in like some face cream. Use a lot of it. And like try, like, you want to see it when you're done applying it. You want to see like the white on your face.
Yeah.
You want it to be thick, and then give it a good 15 to 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And if you want to be even more numb, go further.
Right.
It's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. And when you're done, obviously we don't want to be getting any numbing cream into your skin. So
Correct.
it's super important. I suggest you take like your washcloth, wipe it off your face first as much as you can.
Yep.
Then get your soap out. Your,
nice
you know,
cleanse.
like one of our face washes is great with the acid in there.
Yeah.
Wash twice.
Yeah.
Or use an antibacterial soap, whatever you like to do to prep for things like this. Use your alcohol. And then go ahead and needle. But we don't want any lidocaine on
No.
your skin or
Yeah.
prilocaine, whatever kind of blends you have. Make sure it's 100%
all the
removed.
way
That's
off.
very important.
Right.
But boy, does it help.
It does. It
And I
really
go like
does.
really close because I
Yeah.
like to go like, you know, you want to
Oh,
get your
yeah.
crow's feet and stuff. You want to stay a little bit away, but I'll get that numbing cream gobbed.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And especially above the lip because this is really sensitive. It like sews
Yeah.
under here and here, super
Yeah,
sensitive.
Yeah.
I think anybody could probably do their forehead,
Yeah.
but it's like
I always start on
certain
the
areas.
forehead and then just kind of work
And just
my
work your way down. Yep,
Yeah.
that's what I do. And of course, we have the tutorial video. So if anybody has a
Yes.
question, how to mix these serums and put them
Yeah.
together, and how to fill your tool, and a very important thing is how to prime your tool.
Absolutely.
And you know what? I'm gonna open this.
Sure.
Because I want to show. Let's see if I can without my glasses on. If I can see to do this. I want to show people that, here we go. On this, when you're priming your tool, you know, we want to fill up the tool,
Yep.
flip it upside down, and you want to, you know, let the liquid fill into here for a
Sure.
couple minutes while you're busy washing
Yeah.
your face. Now, there's this little button on here, right? And if you can look and see this, I probably can't show you this, but when there's this little plate.
Okay.
It's almost like a stick with a plate on the top.
Yep.
And all the solution is above it. When we press that button, this lifts up and it allows all the serum to flow down there.
Yep.
And then it pushes back down again. So when you press that button, every time you press the button on your skin, new serum keeps flowing in.
Okay.
So you really want to prime it. Your hands are clean. Just prime it. Just press that button. I mean, this doesn't hurt my finger
I
at
took
all.
a little tweezer
Press
and did
a bunch
it
of
when
times.
I did mine, and then just kind of tested it on my
Yeah.
hand until I saw some
When
liquid
you see
coming
that
out.
liquid coming out, now you're ready to go.
Yeah.
And I do want to do one more little tip, like, as you're going across here, it's really good. When you either get to the lower side or
Yep.
underneath, gravity's working against us and it's not going to come out. Sometimes you might need to flip it and do that again real
Yeah.
quick to get the liquid up there.
Sure.
Or I find that usually there's enough liquid, I just smear the liquid and then go over it and don't worry about it. Or if for some reason you can get like a little vacuum in there, like when
Yeah.
you're upside down, just
Yeah.
open
because
it.
that plunger is
then
going up
close
and
it.
down, and it's creating that vacuum.
Yeah.
As you're, because you want to make sure you're getting that tool nice and flush on your skin, so that little nub
Yeah.
does depress.
Yep.
And if you're doing it properly, that little plate
Every
is going to
time.
go up and down. So it may create like a little bit of a suction or vacuum, like you said. So
Yeah.
if you don't have liquid coming out, that happened to me. Like you said, I was about 3/4, down my face, and then I flipped the bottle over, and untwisted it, and immediately I saw a bubble. So I
Yeah.
said, "Oh, I had formed a vacuum
There it
in
goes.
there."
There it goes.
And then I was off to the races again and finished the rest.
And then you finish. And there is really no need when you like tighten this. It doesn't have to be like,
Oh no, just
don't do that.
yeah, don't
That's too
over-tighten.
much. You almost like
Yeah.
want to allow a little bit of air to get in there. You don't want to create that vacuum. It's like maybe you closed it too tight. Just wanted like a couple little hints there, making sure people understand how this works.
But yeah, absolutely. So the the suction thing can happen, or the little
Yep.
vacuum. But for the most part, as long as you have that flush and you prime it, you shouldn't have any issues.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there's a little tip on using that, right?
Absolutely. Now, what else? What else can we talk about these exosomes? Anything that we are missing that is important that our customers should know, and anything we should be reiterating here?
No, obviously the biggest thing is these are tested.
Yes.
Right? These are tested by the industry standard.
Yes.
They have a cryogenic protectant in here. These are whole exosomes. There's nothing else in here other than the exosome and the cryoprotectant, which is only at 5%, which means that 95% of this is exosome.
Wow.
And, that did lead me to one more thing, just looking at the white. This is all stuck together. I want to talk about this. We've had a couple of questions.
Yes.
This is all stuck here and frozen, but there are plenty of times and plenty of bottles where maybe particles have broken off and you've got a little bit down here, and chunks. That is okay.
Yeah.
That is okay. It is kind of frozen and globbed together, but it can break apart.
Absolutely.
And if you want to, you can, like take I would sanitize the not a toothpick, like a chopstick or something.
Yeah.
Rub some alcohol on there and go ahead and, you can gently break this apart a little bit. Like, let's say you want to mix some of this into one of your products and you want to mix some into another, or you don't want to make an 11 billion count thing today. You only want to make, a 6 billion. So you're going to pour like half of it and needle with that and then leave the rest of this in here. That's okay. And I just wanted to say that, however, if this is in pieces, if this is solid powder floating around, if this is all together, it's all fine.
Got it.
Just wanted to make sure that everybody realizes that it doesn't matter. Like, and I don't know.
Yeah, the
go
one
question
question
talk while I
I
see
get
if this one's different.
is-
See, now this one.
There you go.
Here we
Perfect
go.
example.
Here's the perfect example. This one has broken apart a little bit from being shook around, and this one is still stuck. They're both perfectly fine.
Absolutely.
There's nothing wrong if it's in pieces. There's nothing wrong if it's stuck together.
Yes,
it's all good.
We have had that question. And another question I get is, they're like, well, how do I get my powder into my tool? Well, I explained, well, the best way to do, if you're going to use the entire vial, pour your liquid into
this. This is big.
Yeah.
This is much larger for mixing purposes.
Yeah.
You pour you could pour the entire PDRN serum in here and still have more room.
Yeah.
And sometimes you have to let it sit for a few minutes, and sometimes you might have to let it sit for 10 or 15 minutes, just especially if it's like a little firmer like this, to get it all to dissolve.
Sure.
Or just keep shaking it, and at some point, or stick a toothpick or something in there, and then it will all meld into one, and you'll be fine. But yes, you're right. Mix it in here. It would be very difficult to pour a powder into there.
Right. They were afraid they were going to lose some of it, and I said, if you're
I
going
agree.
to do a needling treatment, for the most part, we recommend using the entire vial. So you would pour, maybe a quarter of your, let's say you're going to do all three, a quarter of your EHR, and then, shake, and then, pour that into your tool, and then drop in your PDRN. Or your epidermal growth factor, if like you're going to add some regenerate, or one of our potions.
Some of the potions.
Yeah.
Let me just say, if you're filling your tool, let's say you've got your exosomes and your nice little blend there, we don't ever want to fill the tool with these potions.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's no. But you can, these come with a little dropper.
You can enhance
so
it.
add like a drop, maybe 2 drops to your whatever exciting concoction you've come up with that you're going to needle into your face. And, choose one for its benefits. And all of the potions are fine to use with this. Regenerate's fine. Nanohyaluronic is fine. Also the same thing with the copper. If you have the 7%,
Right.
or The CP serum, those are the gentle coppers. You
Right.
could add a drop there. You know, when we already have GHK in the PDRN, so it's not necessary, but
Got
you
it.
could add a little copper in there too. I just want to say don't add super cop 2X or anything like that. The gentle coppers.
I was just thinking how amazing it would be to add the snake in and do your
Yes,
forehead, like the Botox
like a Botox alternative, absolutely.
Wow.
Or the adipafillin, like something around
Yeah.
theirs, or the Skinectra.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
so many good things.
Absolutely.
So well, and that's what Replexium is in the EHR, the
Yeah.
Exo EHR serum that comes with the main kit.
Yeah.
That one also has, like Replexium it's almost like adding one of these ingredients.
Sure.
Replexium is for collagen stimulation. Sin-TC is
Yeah.
for collagen stimulation. There's a lot of those. You could add a little drop if you wanted to. That's just another cool benefit. So yeah, lots of things you can do with this line. And the exosomes, I think, shine. And if I were to tell somebody, I would always almost want them to mix the exosome with whatever other one you choose. I
Sure.
just think it's just such
Yeah.
a standout product. And it's safe. It's
Absolutely.
functional. We do it right here.
Yes, yeah.
So yeah.
But if they are on a budget and they want to just, jump into the needling or
Get
the
the kit.
microinfusion, get the suite.
Yeah.
Because that has everything in there to get you started. You can always add on one of these in the future.
Absolutely.
Or both.
Absolutely.
As you go, because there's 6 treatments in the suite, 6 tools, 6 needle heads,
Yep.
6 vials of the EHR.
Yep.
Great starting point if you're looking to
Absolutely.
kind of dive into the micro-infusion pool, so to speak, right?
Yes, and like I said, we have another serum that will be coming
Exciting.
in the next couple of months. We have another one for pigmentation that we'll
Yeah.
be adding into our
That's going to be huge.
thing.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for that.
So to recap, if it's not tested, it's probably not as superior
No,
as our platinum skincare exosomes, correct?
probably not.
Okay.
Probably not.
And they would let you know. They would want to kind of scream it from the rooftops if it is tested.
Like we are.
Because that is the gold standard.
Yeah.
And we're proud of this product line, and we just really want everyone to be nice and educated and know exactly what you're getting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if that, wherever you're looking, is not screaming it and showing you pictures and
Yeah.
going crazy about it,
Yeah.
maybe it's not that great.
Yeah, if you still have questions, which you may,
Yeah.
because there's a lot here,
Yeah.
a lot to kind of to digest.
Yeah.
If you still have questions, please reach out to us.
Yep.
1-800-917-3155.
Yep. Join the Facebook Guru
Yeah,
group
Yeah.
or
Support@platinumskincare.com.
Yep.
They can
Email
send
us.
an email.
We're there.
We will be there. We will answer every question you have.
Yep.
All right.
All right.
Off
See
we
ya.
go.